All right, what we're going to do now is do a deep dive on adjustments. And the idea is that I want to explain to you how adjustments work. And we're going to look at a number of different ways to apply adjustments. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go down to adjustments, and I'm going to apply the adjustment through the adjustment menu at the top. And I'm going to start with the first one. I'm going to go through each one. I'm going to break them up into sections and describe to you what each adjustment is for. And then when we do certain exercises in the future, we'll combine these edits with additional edits. So if I go to adjustments and I choose brightness contrast, it's pretty simple what this does. It makes the image brighter or darker. It increases or decreases the overall contrast. Now, if I make an adjustment to this image, like so, and click OK, that adjustment is nailed onto the image because I made the adjustment through the menu up here at the top. So it's always better to use the adjustments from over here on the right or from the menu down here in the bottom of your layers palette. For this specific reason, I'm going to undo that adjustment. I'm going to make the same adjustment. I can either click here and bring up that same tool, brightness contrast. Now, if you can't find it, look for them in the menu on the right or on the bottom first. There are some that are up in the adjustments up here under image that aren't over here. And I'm going to make the same adjustment. And the difference is that it's a layer, okay? And with that layer comes another feature, a layer mask. And when I have that layer mask, I can paint into that layer mask. So I'm gonna grab my paintbrush and put black 4, and I'll explain to you, and we'll go through some exercises that explain exactly how this works. But basically, what this allows me to do is to selectively edit my document by choosing where the application goes with a masking technique. And so I can paint into that area and take that mask away, and I can work, black is going to scrub away from the area and white will add it back, and I can work back and forth into that area. So that's another reason why I want to use my adjustments from over here on the right. So the first adjustment that we've done here is brightness and contrast. I'm going to throw that away. And I'm going to go through each one of these step by step. I'm going to use them from here because I just want to go through each one. But what I want you to do is to use them from the menu that I've shown you. So let's go to levels. And so the idea of levels is that it's showing me the lights, midtones, and darks inside of the image. This is called a histogram. That's a mathematical readout, a printout of your lights, midtones, and darks in the image. Cancel. I can also go to window and choose histogram. And this is the same thing as a mathematical readout of the lights, midtones, and darks. And then you can see the red, green, and blue values there. But this one's not editable. It just shows you what it looks like. Whereas if I go to image and adjustments and go to levels, I can see these are the darks in the image. These are the midtones. And these are the lights, okay? So I can make that image crisper by adjusting those midtones. And then there are other ways to use the levels. So that's just one example, okay? I'm gonna click cancel. We'll look at some other exercises for using the levels tools in upcoming sessions. I'm gonna click cancel. Let's go to the next one, image adjustments. Let's go to curves. So what curves allows me to do is to reapproximate where the red, green, and blue values are in the image. So right now I'm looking at RGB. So I'm looking at the red, green, and blue value, and I can click and I can drag that up or down, and you'll see what's happening to the image. One of the things I say is if you have a good image, you can make it great by making this S curve, by clicking and dragging up like that and down like that, and that makes every good image look even better. When I make these little control points, I can click and drag them out by clicking and dragging them out like so. Another thing I can do is I can grab the ends and I can slide them down or up, and I can do some interesting things with the saturation, grayscale saturation type of thing with the color inside the image. Okay. Now I can isolate an individual channel. Right now I'm working the red, green, and blue. I could go into the reds and I could say, I want to pull some of the red out of this picture and make it cooler. I want to make it redder. That actually looks really good, kind of cool. All right. I'm going to undo that. Just grab that and drag that out. Or I could go into the greens. Let's see, it doesn't look like this has a lot of green, but I could modify it, right? Drag that out. Or I could go into the blue, right? And I could modify each one of those colors, those channels separately. Another cool thing you can do is to go into like the blue and drag it like this, and then go into either the red or the green channel. Let's do the red, and let's go this way. Drag it like this, and you can make this really kind of beautiful 70s kind of faded illustration kind of look. So those are some ideas with working with my, I'm going to click cancel. Those are some ideas working with the curves. The idea with the curves is that I can work into the RGB value, or I can isolate the red, the greens, or the blues, and then I can modify each channel separately. And I can either push up the amount of a color, like if it needs more red, I can punch that up, or if there's too much red, I can pull it back. And then you just kind of have to play with it and go back and forth to find out what direction you want to take it. Let's click cancel. Let's go to image adjustments and let's do exposure. So exposure approximates the exposure of your camera. So I can increase or decrease the exposure. And then there's like an offset kind of option here and a gamma correction option. Okay. All right, I'm going to click cancel. And that's all the ones in that first section. I'm going to do them by section. So I'm going to stop here and then we'll come back and do the rest in the next set.